If it's touching your lower lip and going down here in the front, that's your depressor labii to the inferior. But right here on the chinny chin chin is the mentalis. Okay? Now, don't flip out. The palpebra is your eyelid, which we will see again when we get to the eye. Masseter. Okay, there's your risorius. Of course, don't forget the guys that go around, orbicularis oculi and oris. If I put this picture on your test, hint, hint, don't worry about the stylohyoid and the digastric. That was something I used to teach in 210 when you take the jaw out of the way, so don't worry about those guys. But definitely, the splenius capitis is in the back because it's the opposite of your sternocleidomastoid, pulling your head back, alrighty? The levator scapulae goes here to your scapula, and these three little guys here, what is that? 24, 25, and 26, I guess? I don't know. These little guys right here, or 24, 5, and 6, sorry, that's it, 4, 5. These little guys here are the scalenes. That's all, in your neck, done. And I know these are hard to see, but they're not going to be hard if you think about it. Who's on top, this one or this one? Is it like this or is it like this? Which one's on top?
That one on the side.
Yeah, this one's on top, right?
Yeah.
So if the muscle is on top, it's the external intercostal. And if it's underneath that, it must be the internal intercostal. What do you think? Okay? All right. And that's your pec minor. Right? Pectineus minor is underneath the pec major after it's been taken off. It's a little bit smaller. Right? Again, your deltoid is here. The muscle above the scapula is the supraspinatus. The one below the spine of the scapula is the infraspinatus. And the one inside is a subscapularis. Okay? And you see how this one lifts the scapula? And this is the one that pulls the back of your mastoid backwards. Because your sternocleidomastoid pulls it down from the front. Okay? And the only time we're ever going to see these guys is right here after we've taken off that trapezius, and that's the rhomboids or rhomboideus, minor on top, major at the bottom, with that black line separating. That's the smaller one, and that's the much bigger one. Okay? On your chapter test, what is the function of the rhomboideus muscles? Do they move anything? No, they're the few muscles that hold your scapula in place so it doesn't go down when you pick up something heavy. It's a stabilizer. Got it? Something different than the rest of them whose job is to move things. That stabilizes it. Many of your core muscles are designed to stabilize your body. Got it? That's why they're attached to your spine and whatnot. Cool beans? All right, I got question marks here because that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Who's this? Yeah. Okay. And the mentalis, right? And the orbicularis. Okay. Don't worry about this one. We didn't do that one enough.
So we don't have to know those?
No, don't worry about these either. I didn't push that this year. What's on our test? Head and neck, little red man, arm, leg, the bouton, a typical neuron. We'll do that one, I'll show you, okay? And remember, we did not get to what? Arm and leg bones. Okay, including, is this the left or right scapula? Is this the left or right pelvis? Is this the left or right femur? Yes, ma'am? Arm, leg, Bhutan, neuron.
But no left or right scapula, or yes?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No?
And the bones.
That's already in the test. I put that in there myself. But no axial skeleton. We've redone the vertebra. Remember on the last test? We did this. We did the sacrum on the last. What did we not do? And you guys told me, why didn't you put it on there? So I said it'll be the first question on this test. The sternum.
Oh, Lord.
I hate y'all. Why would you say
What's hard about the sternum?
You already learned it from last time.
I know.
Oh, I see. And your job is to immediately forget everything after each test.
Exactly. Clean slate for the
Don't,
next
don't tell me that's what you're planning on doing. After the red man, here comes your Bhutan. Okay?
So we're doing all the bones too?
Were you listening?
No, he only listens once a week.
I don't know what he said.
I'm just kidding, Justin. He said no.
He said, I'm just asking.
I'm just asking.
I don't know anymore. What
Just
bones
the
are we
arm and the leg bone.
And hands and feet, right?
Yeah, well, that's part of your arm and
And the
leg.
sternum.
And your
Well, it's
scapula
not
and your
part of
pelvis, because without arms and legs.
So
you
it's
don't
not
need
just the
scapula
arms and
pelvis.
legs.
My leg stops here. That's
What's
what,
attached to your leg?
it's attached, but it's not part of, this is not, the foot is not.
Okay.
Mr. Webb.
Look, don't
Oh, God.
overwork yourself here. What's the gap called?
Synaptic.
What are these circles called? Vesicles. What's in them? Neurotransmitters. If this were a muscle and this were a nerve, what's the neurotransmitter? Acetylcholine always. It's the only neurotransmitter for skeletal muscle, okay? All right, duh, that's in mitochondria. Don't worry, everything that's blue is called Nissl, which is basically, rough ER, but it's called Nissl when it's blue, because that's just that's what Dr. Nissl called it when it's stained nice and blue, okay? Now, just for testing purposes, whether it be chapter test or lab, we call the surface of the Bhutan the presynaptic membrane, and we call the surface of the Bhutan he talks to, or the nerve he talks to, or the muscle he talks to, as the postsynaptic membrane. Got it? After the synapse and before the synapse. Got it? So, on a chapter test, what could I ask? Where would I find receptors? On the postsynaptic. Where would I find the neurotransmitter itself? In the pre, because it comes from the pre and goes to the post. Does that make sense? Then it gets reuptake. We cut it in half and put it back up, right? Have we already had test 3?
Yeah, we've already had that.
Yeah, okay. All right. And then your typical neuron, which we showed you. I think we can identify a nucleus, right? And a little nucleolus on the inside. Remember, the thick part is the axon hillock. All of these white extensions coming out, which have been cut, are the dendrites. And all of these little brown things coming from another neuron are the Bhutans, from another neuron.
Okay.
However, I need you to know for your test, when I have a Bhutan talking to a dendrite, that is a axodendritic synapse. If it's talking to another axon, axo-axonic. If it's talking to your body, axosomatic. Because the the Bhutan is always axo something. It's always from an axon. I wonder what those dudes are doing up there. Hi. Okay. Are you good?
Yeah.
I don't think I have enough, time to have you guys memorize, smooth ER, rough ER, Golgi, mitochondria. You know what I'm saying?
Let's keep it
But do you
simple.
understand the main things? Okay? All right.
Please.
That will definitely be on your test. What's the gap? Okay, what's the covering on the outside?
Myelin sheath.
No, the myelin is covering this. What's the protective cover? Remember? Around one muscle is endomysium, around one nerve is endoneurium. Right? Okay. That's the actual axon. See, here's more Nissl. Alrighty? That's the nucleus of the Schwann cell who made all of the myelin sheaths. What do I call the nerve, the glial cell that makes myelin around 100 axons in your brain and spinal cord? Oligodendrocytes. The ependymal cells are the ones that push the fluid in your ventricles. Okay? Which will be on the next test. Then you know the parts of the brain.
You said oligodendrocyte.
Yeah, oligodendrocytes. Now, see, here's a typical cell. That's the one I actually showed you in class, where we don't distinguish between the rough and the smooth ER. It's just all stained blue, and so we call it Nissl. Okay? But I still have my boutons. I still have the axon hillock. I still have my dendrites sticking out. Okay? Still have a nucleus and a nucleolus on the inside. All right. Now, I'm not going to get all this bent out of shape on this test, but on the next test, you'll have to know it. What do I call all the nerves that are coming in to the top side? Sensory. All the ones coming out from the bottom? Motor. What do I call the ones in the gray matter in the center? Interneurons. Because we drew it on the board and talked about it last week. Okay? The more detailed stuff, we'll do that later. Okay? But just your typical in, out. Okay? Oh, right. Anything else? We just covered the whole test. That would be on your phone. Here's a hint. It looks just like this.
Okay. Sassy.
What do I call this? I don't know. You gotta tell me. The patellar ligament?
The one that floats.
Yes, because
Oh.
it's from bone to bone, so it's a ligament. Thank you. What's this? Not ligament.
Tendon.
Quadricep tendon, because it goes from bone to the quadricep muscle. There's no other attachment to a bone. Got it? Bone to muscle, with the bone being the patella. Okay? How do I classify the patella? Because it's not attached to this bone. Sesamoid. It's in the connective tissue.
Okay.
Like a heel spur is in the fascia, the connective tissue of your foot. Got it? Which leg is this, left or right?
Left.
Try again.
Right.
It's my right. Because that's the fibula. The little bone is always lateral. Because the big bone is what we have to stand on. Got it? I don't stand like this. That would break. I stand over here. So it's got to be my right. Why do I care? Because if that's my right, what's this side? Lateral or medial? Lateral. So everything here is lateral. That means everything here is called medial. So this would be a lateral condyle, medial condyle. Lateral meniscus, medial meniscus. Lateral collateral ligament, medial collateral ligament. You know? Got it? LCL and MCL? Well, what about this guy? The one you see in the front. Who's he? ACL. The anterior. Who's behind him? The PCL. The posterior cruciate ligament. Yes, yes? Okay? That pretty much covers everything I could possibly ask. And I'm only going to ask you 3 things. So, of course, I would not ask you this meniscus and that meniscus if you one of them. Got it? I wouldn't ask you this ligament and this ligament if you one of them. I wouldn't ask you this and this if you one of them. Does that make sense? Because if you know one, you obviously know the other. Is that helping you? Okay. But there's your knee. Okay. What do I call this dip up here on your sternum? Jugular notch. What do I call the top part? What do I call the bottom part? This middle part? Body. What do I call the pointed part? Xiphoid. What do I call this line right here that separates the manubrium from the body? Sternal angle. Because it's slightly dipped like this, okay? That's your sternal angle. You feel for that sternal angle to know where to put your hand in order to do CPR. Got it? Don't want to be too high, nothing happens. Don't want to be too low and break off the xiphoid process, damaging the person's diaphragm, which would not be helpful. Right? Okay. So, what do I call these notches between my ribs?
Intercostal.
Intercostal notches. Because we know that in between means inter. Does that make sense? Okay. Remember, don't forget our scapulas, left and right, pelvis, left and right, humerus, left and right, femur, left and right, tibia, left and right. We spent a whole day on those things. And I know you guys took videos and stuff. Okay? Am I ever going to ask you this radius and ulna left and right?
Yes.
Never. Yes? Can you tell me? Okay.
I can try.
Are you with me? Yeah, I can see once they're attached to the whole skeleton, I can tell you. Okay? So, which one of these two is the one that makes your elbow? The ulna. So what's the radius do? It turns. That's why it radiates with this round part. What's the rounded part called? The capitulum, meaning like the capital, like your head. What is this one that we hinge on? That's the trochlea, which means the spool of thread. Remember, it's thin in the middle and thick on the outsides. All right? What do I call the big bumps?
Tubercles,
Nope,
tuberosity.
nope. That's the tubercles. These are the trochlea. They're bigger. Trochanters. Major and minor, big and little. Got it? Same thing here, big and little when it comes to the tubercles. Why are these so much smaller? Because your arm muscles are so much smaller. Leg muscles are so much bigger.
So tubercles and trochlea?
Yeah. Remember, because what's the word tuber mean? A thickening, not a tube, a thickening of a root. So thickening of your bone. Speaking of thickening of a bone, he's up there too, you know. And he's going to be on your test. I've already put him on the test. We open it up, right? What's this? The head of the femur. What's this? Greater trochanter. What's this? The lesser. Okay? What's that dippity do? Fovea. Capitis. Again, capital head. Fovea, the dip of the head. Fovea capitis. All right. What do I call all of these little things? Trabeculae. Got it? That's where we find what marrow? Red. What do I call this hollow space? Medullary cavity. What do I find here? Yellow marrow. That's why it's kind of stained yellowish. Got it? And I think I mentioned to you that bones remodel, right? Which means they get thicker when you put more stress on them, or they remodel to get rid of a break. Got it? Well, when this was dropped, suddenly it became very obvious. When you are pushing weight here, the stress is here. Got it? Because you're bending this muscle in. and muscle is bone. Look how much thicker the wall is right in this one area than above and below. See how thick this wall is right here? As opposed to above and below? Thickens bones, just like stress thickens up your muscles. Put it?
Which one's your dominant one?
Upstairs.
It's the first foot you use to walk upstairs, it's the first foot you use to walk downstairs.
Is it really?
It's always my left.
And with me,
Are you right?
You're a lefty?
I'm right-handed.
Oh, it's weird.
see, I'm ambidextrous. I think I was a lefty who was forced to write with his right hand.
That's what my
Because
mom
I'm old enough to remember, okay, pick up your pencil. No, put it in this hand. Okay. And that's why my handwriting is so horrible, my wife says. Because I do everything else, everything I taught myself, I do with my left hand. Throwing a ball and whatnot. Got it? But if I was taught by somebody else, it was always, no, get it in it. Okay, fine. Okay? So I have the ability to do both. But I'm definitely left-footed. Because I kick the ball left-footed, and that's the first one I use to go up the stairs, and the first one I use to go down the stairs. How do you know? Because try it with the other foot and see. Because that's what I'm drawing. That's a bouton talking to a muscle cell. Right? See the bouton? See the axon? There's the muscle cell, one cell, you can tell, multiple nuclei. That's the sarcolemma, just like the outer layer of your nerves. Myelin is neurolemma layer, but the connective tissue is called the endomysium, and the connective tissue on one axon is the endoneurium, right? Okay, so here we are. So what's this scalloped area I've zigzagged here? What do I call the scalloped area that the bouton talks to a muscle? He's not talking to the smooth area, he's talking to the dipped area.
The no?
Motor
Motor end plate?
end plate. It's the plate on the nerve, the plate on the muscle that the motor neuron is talking to. How do I know this has to be a motor neuron?
Because it's for
Because he's
an
talking
act.
to a muscle.
Yeah.
Okay? This is the muscle. In fact, it's the motor end plate. Okay? What is on a motor end plate?
Receptors.
Receptors. Okay. I'll just draw one here. Okay? And the receptor always has a little dip so that
It can catch.
we can get the acetylcholine to fit in the proper receptor, which then opens the door, opens a channel to let who in? Sodium. How much sodium needs to get in for us to reach threshold?
Like 2.
70?
Oh,
55.
55.
Or
I mean-
30? 30?
We start at 70, we add 30.
You start at negative 70 millivolts at rest, but you better go up to what?
Negative 55.
Negative 55 millivolts, which is your threshold. Once you reach threshold, boom, all the way to the top, action potential. Action potential. And again, folks, it has the potential to do what? Action. Got it? That message has the potential to make you do something active with your body, in particular, muscles. Okay? All right. What causes this rise? Oh, by the way, what is the top of the action potential?
30.
Plus 30. for a grand total of 100 jump, okay? This little jump here is only 15, okay? All right, but we made it to the top. Okay, so if we were to make 3 little doors here real quick, what's happening? Sodium in.
Potassium out.
I want to stop this, so what am I going to do?
Use potassium out.
Potassium out. That's potassium out. We go a little bit lower and then back to rest. What's that little bit lower?
Hyperpolarization.
Hyperpolarization. Where we throw a little extra potassium out to make sure it's extra negative so I can't make this message go backwards. All right? But is that where it needs to stop? Is this where I want all my potassium in my blood and all my sodium in my cells? No. So what's my third door here?
Potassium.
That's right, the sodium potassium pump run by ATP to force the potassium back in while at the same time forcing the sodium back out, okay? Now I know this sounds really weird, but accept it, okay? This is not a one-for-one relationship. What's your textbook or PowerPoint say? Is it a one-to-one relationship?
Is that a 2 to 1?
It's a 3 to 2. We throw out 3 sodiums for every 2 potassiums we put in. It's a 3 to 2 relationship. Okay? That's just the way nature wants it to be, and that's the way it is. Okay? Are you with me? All right. But this depolarizes, flips the pole from negative to positive. This repolarizes, flips it back to negative, and then this sets the ion concentrations back where it belongs. Are you with me? Sets the ion concentrations back where it belongs. All right.